This episode is brought to you by Lafidi. Hey, Lafidi!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our brand new channel, Long Way From Home. Home is never a place. It is a distance between who you were and who you had to become. On this platform, we are going to be talking about some of the most outrageous things that happen in the world. But the focus is going to be on black and brown people. Don't get me wrong, sometimes we'll talk about Caucasian issue, once in a while, but the main focus is about black consciousness. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Long Way From Home. Home is never a place. It is a distance between who you were and who you had to become. Let's get started.
I like that intro. This episode is brought to you by Lafidi. Hey, Lafidi! Call it. Right?
And the number will also be on your paper. So when they decide to say like they don't need people to speak full English in order to be the trucking, because they also know that there was a huge shortage in the industry needed people. Yeah. So for that reason, they did that.
I didn't even know that you had to be a full American citizen with, you speak fluent English to, use a pallet jack or drive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those are all restrictions. These are all barriers.
Come on.
For example, the company that I'm working for, they have this thing: you had to work for a certain amount of year before they can even assign the truck.
What?
Yeah, you had to work for a certain amount of year before they can assign the truck. So every day you in different truck, and our job is routine based. Every time, if you go into the left, you start from the left side of the trailer, the truck, and then go all the way around to do the inspection to the right side. That's what you will do all the time. One time when you mess up and go to the right side to start from there, you will miss something. You'll miss either leaving the landing gear down, or even putting the air line properly, or something will you're not hooked something properly, and when you move the truck, that's when accident happen. So everything had to be routine. So like you're doing so many different things, so you got to make sure the thing is always routine. So if you're switching from different truck all the time, all the different trucks drive differently. The brakes respond differently. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The acceleration is different. So now you got to get used to the machine when you sit in it, so that when something is wrong, you'll know. So it's a hard job. And also the what's it called? The health issue they have, truck driver can get, it's even crazier. You overweight because you're eating everything you can eat, and first of all, you don't sleep properly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You up when everybody is sleeping, and you sleeping when everybody is awake.
So not to cut you off, I wanted us to just bring it back to the immigration piece, and I know this is all related.
That's what I'm talking about. Immigration, because that's what the immigrant had to go through,
right.
And then they would tell them that, oh, you're taking our job. How the hell you would tell someone they're taking your job, the job that was there you were not doing, and they come to start doing it, and you say they're taking your job?
You know what's interesting, right?
So David talking as an immigrant who actually moved here, working hard, and that's basically he's doing that part that you guys are not doing. And a matter of fact, he's actually telling you guys they need more truck drivers right now.
Right.
You guys who are
they need people in the field to pick food.
Yeah.
Not only truck drivers, they need people on the field.
On the field. I'm telling you, somebody
he's telling you guys the door is open.
But see, I want to go back to the thing we were talking about when the Haitians that were in Ohio, I think it's Springfield, Ohio again. Those people literally revived a dying town. Okay,
that's what I just said. They bring the town back to life.
They brought the town back to life. Houses that were boarded up got unboarded. Like they built businesses, haircut. The churches were
they bring that Haitian swag, man.
They were bringing all music, that back.
They bring the
How
ancestral
could you
spirit.
see that and say that those people are bad for the country? You promised that everybody that was going to be kicked out are the criminals. You can't find enough criminals. Now you're going after the people. This was never about criminals, dude. If it was about criminals, you mentioned earlier, most of the big crimes are done by who?
I mean, you got to know when you are not wanted somewhere. One only thing I can also mention is that I probably mentioned it before. A lot of those folks that came here They have an education. They do have
Right.
a lot of education. They are very well known in their country. They just come here because they're just trying to stay safe. Some of them are lawyers back in their country. Some of them are a nurse and doctors, and some of them are police officers. So they are educated, and they don't want to disrespect your home. They just want to like a safe place to sleep and eat
Yeah.
until the country is back to normal, and then they will
Right.
go back. You actually don't even know how to tell them to go back. They will actually say, "Hey, you know what? Bye, I'm out." You
Yeah.
know, a lot of those folks that are here, they do not want to be here. They do not like it here.
Yeah.
They just want to stay here for a little bit until things get better back home. Then they will actually like be like, "Hey, I'm going back."
See you
Actually,
here, man.
I
Yeah.
know someone in the mix of everything that is going on right now, while everything is crazy in Haiti right now. She's probably like 60 something years old. She is a US citizen as well, and she's Haitian US citizen. And she's like, you know what? I don't want to stay here. I want to go back home. She actually left but did not go to Port-au-Prince because that's where the gangs are. She went to southeast of Haiti, which is Jacmel. You know, that's where she actually just left. She's just like, I can't deal with those stuff anymore. And she
That's
just
crazy.
left, because a lot of those folks, a nurse, a civil engineer, a
Yeah.
police officers, or
Big
those
people
other
back home.
high job, those guys go to those they went to college. When they come here, they choose to work at Walmart, they choose to work at Amazon, they
Right.
choose to do all those other jobs. They have pride too, but they just, what, they forget their pride full, and they just like, what, let me just, while I'm here, I need to eat, I need to pay for my bills, I need a place safe to stay, I need to pay my the house monthly. So the apartment, they're like, I need to do something. But back to their country, they're lawyers,
But
they're doctors, they're nurses.
why is it that all of this stuff that goes on, like I'm really sitting down thinking, USA is called the land of what? Opportunity, right?
It's
So
it's
like
an illusion.
if you're giving us an opportunity, why take it away? It's like it doesn't make no sense. It's like,
Because it's not
you
an
know what?
opportunity.
Yeah, it's like,
It's
yo,
a
come,
lie.
yeah, come
Can
here,
I?
come here, come get this opportunity, and then we're gonna let you go like a seasonal employee at Amazon. Like it doesn't
And
make no sense. And
There's a
sometimes,
guy. There's a
yeah,
guy. He's a debater. I'm gonna send you a video of him.
the
Okay.
season
He actually
employee at
explained
Amazon.
that's a sport.
what I'm about to explain. I'm not even doing it justice, but he explains. So back in the days with Europe, right?
Yeah,
With all these rich people, they had all the resources that they stole from Africa.
yeah,
You know, when the economy was getting basically what is happening right now in America, because back then it was rich people, rich white people, poor white people, right?
Mhm.
But then there was a small middle class. But
yeah,
then when things are going wrong, right? You get no lo who are you gonna blame? There's you rich people and poor people, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
When you have other people coming in, now you say, hey, the fault of whatever is happening to you is these people. So instead of those poor people going up and looking at the people who have all the money, they're looking at other people. So now they want to keep the little they have.
Distraction.
Yes, it's just distract them. This is always the way it happens. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a reason why wealth keeps going up to the 1%, sometimes the 1% of 1% or whatever, and everybody else is left behind fighting over that little one slice of a pie that you were talking about earlier.
I mean,
So you gotta blame
yours,
someone because as
I
soon as
mean,
people can, you can't blame anybody below. Where are you gonna look? Up. They say, oh,
Flash.
there's nobody else I can blame here. It's these people. So immigrants right now are the scapegoats. That's
Yeah,
what they are.
but guess
Yeah,
what? It's
yeah.
not going to last too long, right?
No.
It's not going to last too long because now the angry white people that they fool and tell them that it was the black people that were doing it, where all these years they've been, harassing black people. Now they just realize that it was not about black people anymore.
Talking about the
Oh,
The
rich people, the
yeah.
middle
middle.
class, middle
So
class, and
yeah.
upper class.
Actually, dude, there's no middle class anymore. Okay, like
Yeah,
technically, like
There's
we
no
are the
middle
ones
class.
that we should be the middle class. But I don't feel middle class.
Uh,
I don't feel middle class.
nah,
You
I
I
work.
don't.
surely
My
do
wife
not look like
works.
one.
Listen, and by the way, like you know what? For someone that I would say I'm fairly, compensated, I have a second job. Now, part of the reason I do that job is because I love doing that job,
Yeah.
but it comes in handy.
Yeah.
Okay, like right now,
I mean,
people like there was a lady. This
you
was
can't
during
have
the
a one
pandemic.
job right now. You can't have a one job. That's impossible.
There's well, if
It's
depending on how much
impossible.
you make, it's possible for people.
If you
But
pay,
I
if you
mean,
make more money, the more they take from you. That's
exactly.
why I start making more money.
Yeah. Even the tax bill that they're working on right now, in order for you to not have to pay more taxes because of the bill, I believe there's a lady that I was watching. She's not an accountant, but like a tax expert.
Mhm.
You have to make close to $900,000 a year in order to actually pay less taxes. Everybody else pays more. Back to what I was saying, right?
Mhm.
Everything else right now is a distraction. First of all, there's about 11 million immigrants that are considered undocumented in America. About
Right.
11 million, I think.
Yeah.
You are not the current president is only there for 4 years. 6 months are passed, so you only have 3.5 years in that life. Technically, I would say 3 years because once you're into the last 6 months of
Hold
your
up. Let me get it. So he have what, 3 more years?
3 more full years, and then the last 6 months is typically like
So
useless.
hold up. What the hell? I thought this dude been I thought he been in office for like 3 years already.
Well, no. So the first term, 4 years,
No,
right?
I'm not talking. I'm talking about this last term because
Dude, the
what
election
made
was
me say
last
that
year.
it's a hell. It's a hell that he been giving the entire country. It make it seem like it been there
It's
forever.
been
But
6 months. People think it's
it's
only
been
it's
like
been only
6
three
months.
years.
Yo, man, I can't take another 6 months of this shit. I'm going back home.
Nah. We can't give up, man.
This dude said I'm going back home.
You're
This
not
dude
going to
long way from home. He want to go
Yeah.
back home right now.
Yeah, man.
Listen, we
Shit,
cannot
I
give
gotta
up.
go eat some of that.
But-
What's it called? La Fedi.
Gosh.
X.
Yeah.
You got to think about it this way. We want Africa to be liberated, right? But we also need voices on this side
That's
to
true.
push that. So that's one of the reasons why we're having these conversations for people who may not be aware or people who may not hear about it, or sometimes sometimes certain messages have to come with the right messenger.
Right.
Because there are some things when I see it online, because of who's talking about it, I find it to be skeptical.
I just
Right? but you see, I find it to be skeptical because I'm saying, okay, I'm not sure if I want to believe this person because whatever they might be saying, maybe I don't know,
Narrative.
yeah, it's maybe just a narrative they're just pushing, and because like recently we found out that many people who do these podcasts are being paid just to talk about specific things or whatever, to
Right.
push a certain narrative, to push a certain
Exactly.
messages or whatever.
That's
Like
what that
because
yeah.
of that, I'm super careful on who I listen to. But I like us here are all from Haiti, Ghana, Liberia, Guinea, and then of course DR,
DR.
no cap. And so us being here and talking about these things, yes, we're having fun talking, having the conversation, joking a little bit. Us having these conversations, I'm hoping that people find familiarity with us and say, okay, let me listen to these guys and see what they have to say. And again, I actually want people to challenge us to say, if you feel like we said something that may not be accurate, please say it.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah,
Say,
that's
hey,
what that's what you got here for. So if we say something that is not accurate, like I said, 98% of sex offender is is white.
I think you
it's
said
white
that out
people.
of passion. I think you
Yeah,
said that out of
yeah,
passion.
out of passion, because I'm pissed. You start shipping people back home. That's not nice, bro.
No.
Yeah. It's not nice.
Especially sending them to a country where they are going to get murdered.
He's-
If any Haitian go back, dude, the way the country look right now, man. Anybody that like leave for here and go there,
You know
the
what?
chances of them surviving is
not to make a joke
very
out of
low.
this, but you guys remember the video I showed you, right?
Which one?
Where
Which
I
one?
think it was a Family Guy episode. That comes out of the water, sees how destroyed Haiti is. He said, "Oh my God!"
Is that
He
to
just steps
go
back and it goes back into the water.
If they want to make me into a monster like those people, we'll give them a monster. Like when Godzilla attacked Haiti.
Oh my God.
It's like That is how bad it is.
No, it's bad.
But they want to make it look like in the media that, oh, look at these savages and stuff. They can't even run their own country. And even
But they don't want to cause it.
and when you talk to people about,
Bruh.
hey, the people that came here under CPS and stuff, they needed the help. She said, well, no, they need to go to their country and solve their own problem. I said, wait, their problem is your problem because
Right.
the problem there is caused by us. So
Yeah.
what are you talking about? They should go there and solve their own problems.
After I liberate the Jewish people, I will go to Africa to help liberate the black people.
We cause a problem. Almost every problem in the world right now is caused by the West.
Of course, man.
Every problem in the world is caused by the West. They don't want to mind their own business.
If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out? It's not a question of whether you'd like to see a regime change in Iran, but how do it...
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. But a third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability. So you have here now three nations. All stand together to stop Iran's march of conquest, subjugation, and terror.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We can come out of this. That is just... Thank you, Bibi, for telling us again that American sons and daughters must die overseas because of weapons of mass destruction that we just never seem to find.
And one of the things, and this is something that, people always talk about, oh, capitalism, socialism and stuff. I think I mentioned this earlier. Most of the world was socialist, okay? And they were living just fine. Socialism, and I think I said this multiple times, and I will keep repeating it. Socialism does not mean that you cannot have a business. It simply means that the most important things that the society needs is taken care of by the government, meaning healthcare, what's it called? School. Those things are taken care of by the government. Gaddafi had free colleges, free healthcare. If you couldn't get the healthcare you needed in the country, they would pay for you to go outside and do it. If you couldn't get the education you wanted in the country, they would pay for you to go overseas and get it done.
And he didn't even like that because he would train people, they send students outside to get it studied.
Yeah.
So they can go back in that country and he paid them good money.
Yeah.
He paid them good. They come overseas and get the training here.
Yeah.
They go over there, he hired them over there and they do the work there.
And you know what's interesting too? People keep talking about, oh, birth rates are low in America. We need more babies and more babies and more babies and stuff. But yeah, they don't realize that part of the reason why young people are not having kids is because they can't afford it. They can't even afford to feed themselves. How are they going to bring a kid to life and not be able to feed that kid?
From 1 to 18.
Yes.
I'm not going to up on 1 to 18 years old now. I think it's a little bit over 200,000 now.
Right.
If you have a child from the time they were born to the time they're 18, which they at the time they leave the house, you could have spent around a little bit over 200,000.
I know people that's a 8 year of work for them to just make $200,000. You're gonna tell that person to have multiple kids? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 100%. But one second.
Oh, look at that!
You got it. You got a baby. Hey.
Yeah. That's Sienna, everybody. I was just telling her in the background.
I see
Daddy's friend.
Just to let everyone know who's watching this, we all are parents. I think we said this in our first episode, but we are all parents. I have 2 kids. Alex has 3 kids. Not my nephew. My brother-in-law here, Nanake, has his first kid. He's going through it. And I will say from the whole family, he's getting good grades on how he's being a dad.
Awesome.
Really?
I mean,
okay.
it's something they never teach us, but we do.
Congratulations.
Listen, I will tell a personal story right now. When our kid was born, and she had to spend a couple weeks in the NICU, and she was very tiny, and then when we were cleared to bring her home, we thought the hospital was crazy for letting us take that baby home. It's like, yo, what are you doing?
What are y'all doing?
You should send us home with someone to help us take care of him. But now it's like, when my son was born, that was not the thought anymore. It was like, okay, I know exactly what to do. And when you guys have another kids, another kid, you'll see. It's
She's saying bye bye, guys.
bye bye.
Bye.
Work in the same office with me. You know what Sienna said? David looked like me.
A brother from another mother.
Yeah,
Right.
brother from another mother.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah,
right.
mine was crying. That's why I disappeared earlier to go in there.
Yeah.
We see a lot of podcasts, but not like this type of group of people. Right.
Yeah.
And so we just, to represent
We
again.
just click. We just
Whether
click,
whether this channel blows up or not, we're gonna keep doing this. It's
yeah.
a way for us to get things off our chest
Exactly.
and talk about
It's
how we feel
it's
about what's
therapeutic.
it's very therapeutic.
Like, I'm not cutting you off.
No, you could.
When we're talking about the child, how much it costs to raise a
Right.
child in the United States.
Right.
$310,600 to be precise.
Yeah.
So think about it. You think someone want to have 8 of those or 5?
Shoot. With all
Dude,
those
people-
programs
how do
being
you-
canceled,
How can you do that if you can't even feed yourself?
That's crazy.
it's a
You
tough
can't
part.
feed yourself.
See,
You're expected to work. Your job is 20 miles away, and public transportation is not great. Unlike countries like China, where they have bullet train that you can take and be in places in seconds, or even in Europe and stuff, where you can go from country to country within the European continent, within the European Union, in the same train. You could do that in Europe, right?
Mhm.
We can't do that here. I can't take a train today to say I'm going to get in the same train and go to Florida. I can't. I cannot. That is impossible.
That's crazy.
I cannot get in the train and say I'm going to take that train and go straight to Texas. I can't.
Nope.
This
It's
is
not gonna
America,
work.
the greatest country in the world. How
And then
come
you
we
go-
can't
you-
do that?
You go to when I was in Europe, you can literally from Nuremberg, you can take a train from Nuremberg to like go any part of Europe,
Right.
any part, just a train,
Right.
just get on the train. And guess what? When you are in the city itself, all the buses are free. Like for like even the train.
I
If you
haven't taken
pay-
the bus in a while, but how
Yeah,
much is
if
the
you
bus
pay-
here? It's like $1.50, $2. I don't even know anymore.
All
If
right.
you pay, they will take it. But if you don't pay, they don't ask you because they don't want to embarrass you. They know you don't have it. But it's a courtesy. It's like you pay if you have it. But if you don't pay, they're not going to ask you. So, oh, pay. In America, yeah, try that shit. They will call the police on you, and then they will embarrass you. But yeah, imagine this is a country that the greatest country in the world, and the other country that is not so great in the world. You can go there and literally don't want to come back here.
Right.
But you know why you had to? Because you already, this is where you started when you were wherever you came from. They told you this country was one of the best country in the world. Like I said, this country know how to advertise, man.
What is your favorite thing about America?
I love the streets, the houses.
American food.
It's giving me an opportunity to go to school.
I got my MBA.
Freedom. The right to practice any religion I want.
So what are you going to do to celebrate becoming a citizen?
I'm going to put a U.S. flag.
Superb. When it comes to propaganda, superb. When it comes to manipulation, superb. Anything that I watch about the United States, I didn't see a white person fighting a black person. All I saw was a white person, black person, they all smiling. Hey, how you doing? Because when I was back then, this is how we hear them. Hey, how you doing? Everything quick? Okay, all right. You know what? That's all I would hear. And I all would see all of them different, like I'm saying miss. It was like a word that I wanted to be in. So I'm sitting over there, I'm like, damn, this is beautiful. And when my my adoptive mother told me that, okay, your paper, everything is approved, because it took like, I know, 10 years, 15 years, when they were approved for me to come here. I'm telling you, it was one of the happiest days in my life, because it was like I am going to heaven, but I'm not dead.
Listen,
No, and I came here, everything was different. People start asking me if they should touch my hair, like if like the same question they were asking you, You know, do I have a lot of zebra or monkeys and all that different thing? You know.
Listen,
But anyways,
and I think I mentioned it, like, again, we're all immigrants, and Nanake is the son of immigrants. Heck, everybody in this country is a son of
Yeah.
immigrants,
immigrant,
but
everybody is.
everybody except for the native, those
Yeah, the
actually,
native, but
yeah.
you don't see them anymore, bro. They're
No,
gone.
I mean, they're in
Only
there,
a few of them.
well, because there was genocide.
Since I've been here, one of the person that actually tried by all means to get rid of all of them was Andrew Jackson, the Native American, the few that left. He made those people kids. They all walk barefoot in the snow to take them where they was because they needed that land. They have resources on it. People walking like that feet, everything is splitting. Drag them. Someone own land. How can you treat them like that?
One of the things that and I know people know this and stuff, but one of the reasons why people don't like people to talk about the things we're talking about, like, how people were treated, how Africans were treated, how Haitians were being treated, how they're being treated and stuff, how any place where Westerners went and basically just destroyed everything, stole everything or whatever, is because it is uncomfortable.
Yes,
I was gonna say
It's
that.
not comfortable for them to hear it. And
Yeah.
so many of them will think that you're attacking them. I say, no, I'm not attacking you. That's just your history. You know what?
Yeah.
It's like, my history as a Black person here, nobody wants my history to be told.
Exactly.
Nobody wants my history to show that Black women helped us get to the moon.
Oh.
I think we mentioned it last time. Refrigeration, mobile refrigeration was done by a Black person.
Right.
Ice cream was democratized by a black person, not invented, but democratized, meaning created a method where it was now accessible not just by white rich people, but everybody else can now enjoy ice cream. Peanut butter, which it may sound like petty, but I'm sorry, that's an important thing. It's part of the food that many people eat here. The stoplight and the traffic lights. Those type of things that we are using today, elevator automation, okay, all those different things and stuff. Like, Black people have contributed so many things to this country, and yet no one ever wants to talk about it
because they know that when they talk about it, it will go back to Africa. The story will now go back to Africa, how we had a better civilization there, how we were smarter, how we were rulers, and then it will also go back to Europe, how we were the first people to even rule there. Then we'll go back to China, how we were the first people to even rule there. Then we'll come back to America, how we was the first people to even be here before the white people can even come here.
We were the first person.
The Native American, I mean, we were not what the white were first person before the white people, but like the Native American, that's why we get along with the Native American. The Native American never fight the Black people. They actually gave land to them.
They had Black natives here.
Yeah.
This is the thing. People don't realize that there were Black Asians.
Right.
Okay? You can actually, if you go online now, and this is not AI generated, there's pictures there but people don't realize that it's amazing how successful covering up the history of Black people was.
Man,
it
beautiful.
is amazing how successful it is.
Jesus,
and by the way,
Jesus Christ's picture was the weapon of mass destruction. Because think about it. Think about it. If the God that you're praying to look like the person that is telling you what happened, who are you more likely to believe? The person that looked like the devil, that they said they looked like the devil, or the person that looked like Jesus, who got blue eyes, who got long, blonde, long hair, and who got white skin, and then the dude that said they look like the devil. When anything black is okay, the black cat is a bad luck.
I wanted to say something.
The thing I wanted to bring up was when we're talking about, you said something about blue eyes. People don't realize there were Black people with blue eyes. Again, some of these things might be controversial to people. It's like, oh, I said, no. These are facts. It should not be controversial to state facts.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problem I have when they say, oh, if you criticize Israel, you're anti-Semitic. But wait, if I criticize a white person, am I racist against white people? If I criticize Max or Axe or any of you here, am I racist against you? If I criticize native country, am I racist against that country? Am I like, I don't understand that. We are supposed to be able to criticize things that we find to be wrong,
Yeah.
right? And that's what, to my point, that to the point I was trying to make is, we can state facts. If you don't believe them, look them up yourself. And if you can't, if you feel like, you don't want to believe it, that's fine. But we should be allowed to state facts.
If someone's programming it and the person programming it is biased or discriminates, they're going to program the AI to do the exact same thing. If you were to go to a tap to wash your hands, if you have a more darker palm, the soap might not actually be dispensed because that software has been trained on a lighter, more Caucasian palm. So it doesn't always dispense for someone with a darker palm.
What?
And when we say that the system is rigged against black people, look at our backgrounds here.
Right.
Okay. Look above Axe's head. That does not look like a deer. That does not look like an elephant. But that's what it should be. When you tell AI to generate something, all it does is these type of things.
Right.
I tried to generate another picture of Africa. All it showed me was mud huts, trees, and elephants. That's it. It ignores that we have cities. You probably see some of those pictures right now. Cities, all those type of things. Like we have, like, it's not 100%, but just like America is not 100%. When you're in Africa, they show you all the nice places in America, Manhattan, in New York, Los Angeles, but they never show you Skid Row. Skid Row right now, they're never showing you that there. They're not showing you, like all the ugly parts of America. They're only showing the nice part. And the thing is, when I landed here and stuff, and I got out of the airport, I said, "What is that smell?" That's the first thing I said. I was 13, okay, 13 with my little sister behind me at JFK, and we're looking for our mom. We saw our mom. We were in the airport for 3 hours. When I stepped, I said, "This is not what I saw on TV."
Right.
This is not what I've been believed to because like you said, you feel like you're going to heaven.
Yeah.
But you're just not dead.
Yeah.
And then you get here, it's like,
really,
all right, okay, I can deal with this. And then you grow up, you have kids, you say, "Man, I'm stressed.
Yeah.
Man, I can't get sleep."
I'm about to say,
I gotta run home and go to sleep to wake up the next day because I gotta go to work. It's like,
that's crazy.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I can't even believe that my country is that beautiful.
Sometimes I can't either.
I can't even believe it. Like I look at like Kenya, I look at Nigeria, Ghana, and Guinea, Ivory Coast, those cities. I see so many big cities. I'm like, hold on, is that really Africa? I can't believe it because
I was
you've been told over and over that.
Dude, we gotta go to Ghana.
Yeah, we got to.
I mean, we got my brother-in-law here is from Ghana, so
yeah, we got a whole place we can stay at,
dude. Yeah. Listen, and by the way, in Senegal, we have a home there now. My mom,
she was telling me,
we got a home there now. So basically, it's gonna probably be an Airbnb or something. But whenever we're going, we just say, "Hey, we're going on this date." They'll make it available for us. We go there. We're done. We come back. Like we got this.
We all good. We all good.
Listen,
we good in our hood.
We gotta vote if no cap is allowed to. I wish he was on tonight.
Yeah, are you sure, man?
Hey guys, so there's one thing to back up about. Talk about immigration. One thing that crosses my mind is that, do you know, besides doing the hard labor the immigrants have had to do when they move here, obviously they all have the culture shock that we all have.
Mm-hmm.
They also had to experience one of the worst thing that I have experienced. I believe some of y'all probably experienced that as well, which is racism, prejudice.
From everybody.
I know that, first, when they first look at them, especially Black people, when they first look at them, they don't really think that they are immigrant from somewhere else. They're like, "Oh, okay, you're African American, but once they start talking to them, they notice that those folks do not speak English the same way African American does. Therefore, now they are being prejudiced or any like racism or anything that they can do to them now because they do not know the rule or the law of this country.
Right.
Therefore, those folks are like the guinea pig of that store or those places that where they work. They actually, survive that, and yet they are being treated that way, and and now the government is just like, now it's time to go die back home. Go to your country and get killed after everything I've done to your country, not in a good way.
No, you're so right. And yeah, they come here, all that stuff, and then they get sent back, right? And then they don't ever leave our countries. They never leave. They're still there, right? They're still there. Wait, what do you need an African command for? Why? Why? Why are you there? You want them to go back. Why are you there? Get out. Isn't it funny that they're throwing out everybody who looks like us, but then they go and take a bunch of West South Africans that claim,
I was just about to say that
claim to be being genocided or whatever. Like our president showed a picture of crosses on the road and stuff, and then didn't realize, and still probably doesn't realize right now, that that was a cross that represented South African, whether they were white or black.
Right.
It was not even mass graves of people who were like, killed. No. There's a crime issue, and I think we mentioned this before in previous episode, but there's a crime spree in South Africa, and it's affecting everybody equally. And I think you don't even have to take our word for it. Listen to South Africans.
Is there a white genocide in South Africa?
No, there's no sign of it, never has been. In fact, whites are economically the strongest group. They benefited from democracy more than anybody else. 64% of all boardrooms in South Africa are still white. The average income of white South Africans are vastly higher than black South Africans. No. They have better schools, they have better education, they have private health care. This is the land of milk and honey if you're white.
White, again, not even black South African.
We as South Africans, we know there's no white genocide, so for me it was a pointless exercise. I don't think it was the right call. South Africa is a country on its own. I don't think we need to explain ourselves to USA.
White South Africans saying those people are not what they say they are. Yeah. And the fact that they brought these people to work on farms and none of them are even farmers. They don't even know how to farm. Of them, like you see, like one of them, I think they say he was a security guard, knows nothing about farming, and yet you brought him here to farm. And the thing is, it's like there's a guy, and again, this is not to shame anybody or any group of people, but he's super overweight, and yet he was persecuted. What was he doing while being persecuted? Eating the whole time? Are you kidding me?
Eating the entire South Africa.
Yes.
What the hell, man?
This makes no sense that to say, oh, well, these people were persecuted and stuff. That's why they're here. And then you go pick 50 people and stuff. And then what are they going to do? They're going to go on those farms.
They're all fatter than
they're going to go. You put those people on that farm right there, they're going to pass out immediately. Immediately. So it's no secret. Okay, they're not kicking out white people. They're kicking out black people. That's what it is. Or people who are black and brown people. That's all they're doing. He's a known white supremacist, Stephen Miller.
I'll attend interagency meetings, Chris, where I know for a certain fact, if I don't invite the right people, the meeting will leak.
Writer and architect of the administration's anti-immigration policies, Stephen Miller, links from white nationalist sites. He plugged The Camp of the Saints, a story about the Great Replacement myth. He pitched a story about how Amazon pulled Confederate merchandise down but still sold, quote, commie flags in the wake of the Charleston church shooting, in which 9 black churchgoers were murdered by a white supremacist. Miller wrote, quote, have you thought about going to Amazon and finding the commie flags and then doing a story on that? It's not a coincidence that in the midst of pushing the US-ending trade deal, we're seeing a historic artifact of real America be demonized and destroyed, unquote. Miller also expressed support for the same immigration policies that Hitler backed.
This isn't a courtroom, and I have a right to
settle
speak.
down, settle down, calm down.
Jake,
I have a question for you about issues.
McHugh told Hate Watch, quote, "What Stephen Miller sent to me in those emails has become policy at the Trump administration," unquote, on Trump's fiery immigration hawk.
torture is the way to go. Torture is a celebration of life and human dignity.
He is the mastermind behind the Muslim ban and served as...
I don't know much about him, but I know that he's pretty right-wing.
...told him to break off their friendship. "I can't be your friend anymore because you are Latino," he said.
Who is sick and tired of being told to pick up my trash. And we have plenty of janitors who are paid to do it for us.
That guy is one of the most bigoted people I've ever seen in any administration that I've ever witnessed in this country. Super bigoted. And I've seen videos of him. He was like that since he was young. Since he was young. And when African American, when black people say God don't like ugly, there's a reason why he's losing his hair. It's like young guy like that, like nothing here. It's like, dude, you must have done something that God is just taking out on you slowly.
Yeah.
When you see him talk, his passion for the hate he has for people that are now white is amazing.
That's because those are the, and if you look him up and do a little bit digging, those are some of the one that our parents was like the worst psychology in this country. I won't be surprised if he had lineage with Willie Lynch. I won't be surprised because he's the one that brought the whole psyche with controlling the black people, and that thing just spread all over the world. How to control black people. They take your male. I don't know if I explained it detail the last time. If they want for the slave to behave, they would take the wife and put them here and bring their kids and put them here. And they bring the male, they beat the male, they beat the man to the point where he about to die. And then they leave him with her.
Call it breaking him in.
Yeah, so like the scene where they break horse. So they break, making a slave. You call it making a slave. You're breaking the man that how you break a horse to run for you. Then from there, you bring another slave out. Why she take care of that one that they beat almost to death? When that one is getting better, again, they will do the same thing, bring another one where the battle lynch, but the only thing they would do is they would tie the leg on the horse on the other side, tie the other leg on the other side, the opposite direction, then they smack the horse, and the horse run the opposite direction and split the leg apart. And then while she sit there and watch that, and the kids sit there and watch that, all that fear, and she's pregnant, so all that fear is going into the mind, they call it psychosis, right? All that fear is, absorbing all that fear, right?
The baby is
the baby, like, everything.
It's why they say do not stress out a woman when she's carrying, when she's
carrying
pregnant, child. Because anything that she goes through, any trauma she goes through, the baby's experiencing it, because they're like, she is literally, her and the baby are sharing a body.
Yeah.
So any negative thing that happens to her, except for limbs, but even the trauma for someone losing their limb when they're pregnant, the kid is gonna feel that trauma.
Right.
It's all chemical. Like, you guys watch the movie Django?
Who this nigga up on that name? Oh, Stephen, you have nails for breakfast. What's the matter? Why you so ornery? You miss me, huh? Oh, yes, sir. I miss you like a hog miss flop, like a baby miss mammy titty. I miss you like I misses a rock in my shoe. Now, I ask you, who this nigga on that name?
Hey, Snowball. You wanna know my name or the name of my horse? You ask me.
That's who the hell you calling Snowball, horse boy? I'll snatch your black ass off that nag down here in the mud so fast make your head.
Steven. Let's keep it funny. Django here is a Freeman.
This nigga here?
That nigga there. Let me at least introduce the two of you. Django, this is another cheeky black bugger like yourself, Steven. Steven, this here's Django. You two ought to hate each other.
Yeah.
The first time I watched that movie, right, I was so angry.
Dude,
I was so angry, man. When I watched those movies, period.
I like to drink alcohol to like kind of like calm me down when I'm drinking the kind of watching the kind of thing. Dude, because I will not finish it. Because I don't understand how you have so much hate for someone who did nothing to you. All they do was to exist as a black man. And you have so much hate, I just want to kill them. Like,
This is
why?
why.
I
This
would
is
Which
never
movie
why
is
understand
that?
that.
Which movie is that?
Django with
Django?
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx.
I think I probably saw it, but I might actually have to watch it again.
It's
I
a long movie,
remember,
but it's a very good movie.
It's a very
yeah,
good movie.
the
Good
only
movie in a
one.
way.
I wouldn't
it
watch it
showed
with
the
your
history.
kids though.
No, come on.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, I remember watching a movie. There was a movie that I watched. I was very young. I was in Haiti back then. I remember, it was, I think it was probably about, it was about slavery. I would like to watch that movie again. It was they got black folks from Africa, and those guys were on the boat, and a
Is it
lot of them.
Amistad?
I do not remember because I
I
watched
think
it.
I know. I think it's this
Dude, that movie made me cry.
Kuda
They were dying, and some of them they were like throwing them in the
Kinte. It's Kuda
they
Kinte.
were
Is that the name of the movie though?
Well, that's the name of the
character.
the prince that
I don't
they
remember. They
kidnapped.
were just throwing some of them in the ocean, and I can actually tell you it was one of those movie that kind of like make me feel I'm
Yeah, that's a
it's
movie.
it's a trauma for a kid to see something like that when you see, oh, you black, and then this is, and we learn about slavery in Haiti, and then and you see that's how your race are being treated by a different race, and it was one of those things that you try to forget, and then once in a while it just comes up, and it's
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
Those type of movies, like I'm telling you, sometimes when I'm gonna watch them, I think about it. I say, do I want to watch this because it's gonna make me angry? I
Yes.
can't do much about it. All I can do is get angry and then calm myself down later, and then I'm good.
Right.
But at the same time, yeah,
in high school,
I'm getting angry right now.
There will come a time when black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves, as other humans are intellectually independent enough to think for themselves. Then the black man will think like a black man, and he will feel for other black people. And this new thinking and feeling will cause black people to stick together. And then at that point, you'll have a situation where when you attack one black man, you are attacking all black men. And this type of black thinking will cause all black people to stick together. And this type of thinking also will bring an end to the brutality inflicted upon black people by white people. And it is the only thing that will bring an end to it. No federal court, state court, or city court will bring an end to it. It's something that the black man has to bring an end.
Yeah, I tell you, man. In high
I'm
school,
getting angry right now, so I'm gonna stop talking about it for a little bit just to calm myself down. Because the thing is, like, only we would understand that. Yes, we were not there; it didn't happen to us directly. But when you see
can
someone
feel
that,
it.
yes,
I can feel. No, I don't know if you don't understand that. When I see a car in field, when the goosebumps get on my skin, I can feel. I don't know, for some reason, maybe I have some sort of a connection. First of all, let me
I'll
tell
explain to you.
My
I'll explain
mom,
to you.
my mom was a slave, by the way. My real mom, my biological mother was a slave. Before. And before my dad's the one that got her out of slavery. But anyway, so when I watch this thing, I think it's because the experience that she went through, she probably passed that on to me.
Yeah.
For some reason.
That's actually what I was gonna explain.
Yeah, because it kind of hit. I feel different. I like my body and my whole mind is different when I'm watching something
There's
like
a scientific term for
exactly.
that.
That's what I was gonna say.
There's
Everything that happened to them was imprinted upon their DNA.
Yeah.
Remember,
Psychosis, right?
There's a DNA memory. Essentially, it's like whatever happened to them is imprinted on them. All the memories is in their DNA. And when we today, who are descendants of those people, are seeing that, even though that's
It trigger
that's
it.
now
It
exactly
activate it.
it triggers that, and then you start feeling like, oh, all
It's
you want
like
to do
it's
is
me, bro. It's like I feel like it's me. I feel like
Flash.
it's me. It happening to when
Yeah.
Flash.
I was zooming for a very long time, right? It's like I zoom. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like it pulled me in.
right.
I'm pulled in, and then everything else around me is silent. Unless
You
whatever
lose
thing they're
yourself
doing.
in it. You lose
Yes,
yourself
I
in it. It's
mean,
like you've been pulled into that world,
Axum,
yes,
and you're
yes,
I
seeing it
feel you. I
happen,
feel
and
I feel you on that,
you
and
can't
I
do
hear
anything
you on
about it.
that too,
yeah.
Axum. Ax, I really hear you, and then I apologize for the other day because I know
Oh
how
no, it's
you feel
okay.
about that. You
No, it's
know,
okay,
so
man. It's
it
okay.
can be because, and what I want to say to Axum, Flash is that there is the way you see Axum actually feel.
Mhm.
You may think you feel that way. Whereas for Nana K, if your parents were born here and raised and here, or my parents were ancestors were slaves, obviously we also have that other type of blood, like that pride, Haitian and everything.
Right.
But we have that, you know, our ancestors were kind of like straight descendants of
Right.
slavery.
Right.
We it's kind of like really, and we have like that different, you know, we have that slight. I'm not trying to differentiate ourselves because you didn't
Right.
survive it or your parents didn't survive it, or you know, I'm not trying to differentiate, but what I'm trying to say is that there's that slight little difference, you know, where he actually can feel it more, and I will sometimes I experience it, but I also have like what's
Yeah.
called that
Right.
pridefulness in me. I'm
Right.
like, you know what? Hey, us Haitian, we rather like, you know, we rather do another 1804. You know, what rather do we like, you know, our ancestors left us with that.
Right.
So we know, like, you know, they know that it's uh, the other day I was talking to someone at my work. And that person was just like, you know, actually Haiti create a symbol for the world. I think, yeah, we know.
That's
And
why they're being punished right now.
that person was Jewish and Polish. I said, I was just explaining to him a little bit of Polish people that are in Haiti. And he's like, actually, you know, Haiti. I'm like, yeah, we know,
Wait, that
you
was
know.
me.
No, it was not you, it was someone else.
We talked about it.
I mean, if we're gonna cut down, I'm gonna say it was a patient, you know.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
but you and I talked about it at
Yeah,
the office.
yeah, we
Remember?
did talk about it.
Yeah, we
We
talked about
talk
the
about it,
yeah.
but what I'm saying, it was a patient Friday.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You didn't say the patient's name, so you're fine.
Yeah, no, we still have to.
Right.
Because we were just like, you
Take
know,
that part
just
out.
saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
I
like
don't want, you know.
even my father, my great grandfather, he was a warrior. You know, like this those one I'm talking about, those one that actually fight with the sword and then like with the knife and shield.
When men
Like
were fighting in wars, not a
yeah.
bunch of little
So like guess what? The
babies
amount
and
of
stuff
land,
just
the
shooting from
amount of
far
land that
away.
I have, the
Sorry, I
amount
know
of
you're a veteran, but you know.
yeah, the
No, that's
amount of
good.
land that I have in my country, the amount of land that I have for my family, because my our great grandfather was a warrior. So like they had this rock. It's like a white rock. They had the strongest man. Like when you accomplish something, you know,
Yep.
they had the
Throw it.
strongest man that grabbed the rock and threw it.
Yeah.
How
Yep.
far that rock dropped, they
That's
count
your
it as
land.
one, right? So if they say they gave you 10 or 20 of those, that's what the person would do and three, like you know, different directions too. My like the land that I got, dude, it's like if you we haven't even solved it because it's too big. We give it to people to even do it, to even farm on it. The land is big. I'm saying it's massive. Like it extend all the way. I don't know how many miles or miles of that. Because we used to go there hunting and it will be going for like, you know, 20, 25 miles, and we haven't even gone to the end. You know, a massive land. So like he's, you know, he was a warrior. So I had all the different kind of like, you know, connection. So like whenever it come to when I see any black person being treated bad, dude, that shit boil my blood, bro. Like it's like even when you're talking about how the poor are getting treated in Haiti, I feel like my stomach, if I feel like It was like a pepper in my stomach for a little bit. I thought I wanted to take a shit, but it was
But you know what? I want to say something right quick, okay? Like this is actually something that happened recently. I think generally speaking, when we, and I think it's in our blood also, on our DNA as African or African descent, when we see someone in trouble, I'm not saying black people, someone in trouble, we're compelled to help.
Yes.
Okay? But especially knowing our history and what has happened to our people. And when I see that, of course I get my blood boils.
Of course,
I'm going to
man.
give you an example, right? Something in the West that really triggers me is, and again, that doesn't mean that everybody's like that, but the fact that you still find people that are like that, I find it very diminishing as a people.
Right.
Because I was at a train station when I was finished my, my other job that I go to New York from time to time. And I was at the train station to take the train back here so I can drive home. And there was a guy, I think he was Hispanic because he was speaking Spanish. And he needed to get up, right? The train was here. He needed to get up. And he kept saying, someone help me. Someone help me. Every person that walked by him didn't even look at him. They actually, it's like they passed through him. They didn't even act like he existed. They were all white people. There was one Hispanic lady. She also walked away. And I understand the guy was drunk, but he had a something on his leg, so he couldn't walk easily. Everybody there. And then there's a white couple sitting near me and my colleague. And then there's another guy and stuff. He's on his phone. They're on their phone and stuff. Everybody ignored him. I'm looking. I said, okay. So I put my bag down. I get up. I go help him get up. And then and he walks away. He said, and he actually said, a stranger helped me. Okay.
God bless you, man.
He walked away. And then the white couple said, thank you so much. I was about to get up.
Really, man? You are about to.
I said, and this is not the first time.
No, they gotta water it down. They gotta make it. They gotta take away. They gotta take away what you did,
and I'm
so that you feel bad about it. Like you don't feel accomplished. You don't feel.
I said you're about to get
I'm
up.
looking for the word. Yeah.
But I got up, and I because the thing is, I was further away. All of them were closer. The guy, for me, I didn't even look at, when people say, oh, the guy might be dangerous and stuff. That's not what I was thinking. All I saw was someone was in need.
Yeah, he said help.
Someone was in need. He said, again, could it have been dangerous for me? Yes. But you see, when we talk about last week that why did Africa, with all the technologies, all the resources, everything that we had, how did we get colonized by the West? Because we're kind.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
of our kindness. And that's also in our DNA. Like, I know this is my brother-in-law. I've known him for several years now. And I know he's a very kind person. Anything I tell this guy right now to do, I know he'll do. I told Max the other day, I say, if I come to you, I say, you know what, we need to go somewhere. We need to beat up someone. We need to do whatever it is and stuff. It may be dangerous or whatever. Will you come with me? He said, yeah, let's go.
I tell you, I know you have a good reason for it.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna think twice.
No, you will not think twice.
Sure.
You know,
I know you have a good reason for it.
And one of the things is like when we make relationship, we and I know this deviated a little bit from what I was talking about, but we stay loyal. We're very loyal.
Right.
And it's a fault.
Yeah.
That loyalty should only remain when the person that we're being loyal to has shown that they deserve to be loyal to.
Yeah, you see, the funny we didn't know too.
No, because at first glance we just trusted everybody.
Yeah, we just trusted.
And sometimes I felt like being in the West, I felt like I'm not gonna let that change who I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's one of the particular characteristics that I have that I will not let go. My grandfather raised me, and he was always kind to people.
Being kind is good. Yeah,
every time. Because the thing is this, like for me, it takes me very little energy to be kind. It takes a lot more energy to not be kind.
Right.
So I choose not to be unkind.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the right way to explain it. That's
true.
The perfect way to explain it.
Even being mad at people, it's too much energy.
It's too much energy.
Yeah, if I may add something,
please go ahead.
About what Flash said. the other day, I believe it was 3 days ago, I saw someone hitchhiking, in the next to the road, trying to like have a ride or something. I feel compelled to stop the car and give him a ride. But being around the people and westernized, all the other thoughts that I have and what I was told not to do,
Yeah.
I did not stop and give that person a ride.
Right.
And in my head, it's still killing me. Like you say, it's take a lot of energy. That person's still living in my head.
In your head,
Still,
yes.
I still see that person. It's like grave in my. If God were to come and be like, "It was me over there. You didn't give me a ride,"
You
or it
didn't
was
give me a
like
ride. I
you
just
could have
needed
saved
a
that
ride.
person's life. You didn't give that person a life. I actually felt sorry for myself because I did not, and I'm like, I could have been in danger, of course, but I would be feeling good if I did give that person a ride. And if, of course, if I get in danger, it will be my loss, it will be my family's loss. But at the same time, if it did happen in a good way, I know for a fact like that energy I'm still wasting on thinking about what I did not do when I had a chance to do it. It's still in me. It's still
Yeah.
it's
You know,
still
It
you
living.
didn't
know,
happen to me.
thank you
Just
for saying
2
that.
days
You
ago.
know, but the thing is, like, when again, I know we're on the topic of kindness now of our people, right?
Right.
Where America is also the only place, actually, the West in general is the only place that I've seen people are okay just firing a person from work and not caring.
Not care. I don't.
The first time I was a
They
manager,
boast about it too.
dude, yes. The first time I was a manager, I was managing 24 people. We were doing basically root cause analysis of systems that broke down and find out what they were, what caused the issue. Once we find out, we explain it to the IT people and they fix it and boom, we're good to go. Um, and the first time I had to let go of someone, he was a veteran, he had anxiety, and he was just not in a good place. And again, I gave him a bunch of chances. I even offered him me myself to mentor him, to help him get his work done because he wasn't getting his work done, right? Or sometimes he would take too long to get the work done. And when I take the work and give it to someone else, they get it done quickly. Or sometimes I do the work myself and I get it done. So I was wondering what was going on. And I tried all sorts of ways and stuff. And it didn't work out. And then by policy, with all the different warnings and stuff that I gave him, it was time for me to let him go. And I was having a hard time. I had to have my manager help me go through the process. Okay? Because I knew about his story. He was a veteran, he has anxiety. And I'm not even thinking about, okay, the work he's not getting done. I'm thinking about the work. I'm sorry, what he's going to go through if he doesn't have a job.
Exactly.
Can he pay his bill? Dude, that's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
That
Does
is
he
what I'm
have
thinking.
kids? Does he
Does he
have
have
family that
kids?
depend on him?
Yes. Those are the things that I was thinking. But they don't, they train you here not to think that way. It's
No.
like, okay, can they save us money? Yes. Okay, do it.
Get
That's
rid
the
of
way
them.
they think. And for me, that's not how I think. I think about the humanity of people. And, all that to
Being
say
human
that I
first.
just feel like that there's no more humanity in the West anymore. It's
No.
all about profits. It's all about who can get more. It's all about who
Who
can
is
I step
first?
on.
Who is
Exactly.
first?
Who can I step on to get ahead?
Mhm.
And it's just wrong.